Hey Coastline family, how are you doing? I miss you a lot. Looking forward to at some point when we can get back together and worship together and spend time with one another in actual person. But for today, I wanted to give you a little encouragement and a little word for the day. And that word is a question, and it's called "What is left on the shelf?" And it comes from the other day. I was brushing my teeth. And I looked at our bathroom cabinet, and they've got mirrors on the outside of the cabinet doors, and one of them was slightly ajar, and it was mirroring and reflecting the stuff in the shower, so your shampoos and your shower gels and stuff, and it gave the appearance that the cabinet was full of stuff. But I could see the door slightly ajar, and I could see what was actually in there, which wasn't a lot, not much in there. And as I was looking at it, I felt the Holy Spirit whisper to me and just say, what's left on the shelf? Jonny, if you were to look inside the cabinet of your life, like what's left on the shelf? And I feel like that's a great question for us right now. It really convicted me. It's quite an exposing question, but I think it's a good question. But if you look at the place that we find ourselves at the moment, there's a lot of things that we can't do fully or can't do at all, and a lot has changed. And so some of the things that we might have done without thinking that maybe give us a sense of identity, or some of the things we did to kind of tick the Christian boxes, or whatever it is, wherever you find yourself, something has changed for sure. And I think there's kind of a moving and a shaking in our lives, that the stuff that we held dearly is kind of moving around, and so we've got this amazing opportunity to kind of have a look a little deeper with all the stuff kind of pushed to one side and see what's actually left on the shelf. And so I found myself asking, what does my relationship with Jesus look like? When I can't kind of go to church, or I can't do the things that would be a stimulus to think about God in the same way. What does my relationship look like? Do I know Him? Do I know the sound of His voice? Do I know the things that He said in the Bible? Little things like that. But I want, when all is said and done, when I go to be with Jesus, and He metaphorically opens up the cabinet of my life, I want my shelves to be full of experience with Jesus, knowledge of Him, just like shared relationship. And I think we just have an amazing opportunity at the moment when some things are quiet, some things are crazy, but we have this opportunity, whilst the kind of fabric of society looks very different, to get away and just take a bit of an inventory of where we're at. And this isn't a condemnation, it's an invitation. I believe it's an invitation from God just to take a bit of stock, a look at what your life looks like. There's that amazing verse in 1 Samuel 16:7 that says that man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart. I just want to encourage you to ask those questions, have a look inside and say, God, help me see what's left on my shelf. And the idea, is never to kind of expose or embarrass, but the idea is to be like, oh wow, I've built this amazing friendship with you, that even when, church as we know it, or church as we have known it, isn't the same, and maybe I'm finding it difficult to express my faith the same, but some of us are finding, I think it's a bit of a shock, but if we don't have the obligation to go to church or to watch church, and when we're not doing those Christian things, what does our life actually look like with Jesus? And so I just want to encourage you to take a look and to invite God to help you to do that. And so the things that I'm concentrating on at the moment, or wanting to, is just to go straight back down to basics. Who is Jesus? What is He like? What does He sound like? What does He say? And what does that mean for me? I'm really wanting to, I've been a Christian for quite a long time, but that doesn't necessarily mean a lot. You know, I've been a Christian for years, but I really want to go back to the basics and let the simplicity of Jesus kind of hit me again. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be looking at the Gospels, so Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and just looking at what Jesus says, looking at what he does, and trying to just kind of get back into that daily rhythm of relationship with him, asking him questions, letting him speak to me. And so yeah, I want to invite you to do the same, to ask that question: what's left on your shelf when everything's been taken away or changed, and you have an honest look inside? What's left? And yeah, I want you to hear the kindness of Jesus' invitation, not to condemn, but to encourage, because there's so much there for you in relationship with him. So hopefully that makes a bit of sense. If you want to have a chat about it, like, give me a message or give me an email. My email's johnny@coastlinevineyard.church. If you want to give me an email, and maybe we can have a chat. But yeah, I hope that encourages you and convicts you as it has me. I'm pretty convicted by it, but I think it's an amazing invitation. So I hope that blesses you. And yeah, enjoy the sun.